with Purple Angel Oracle. Hope everyone is doing well. So, I just wanted to share with you today kind of a vision, or I don't even know how to describe it, just came into my mind of what's actually going on here and what it looks like if you're, being the observer, is this huge spiritual tug of war. If you look at your 3D reality, what's going on, there is this division, obviously, that's been created. You're seeing the split here. And it feels like a tug of war. We have two sides almost just pulling, almost fighting over humanity is what it looks like. And, there's so many different levels to this. We know we're in the midst of a spiritual war. That's one way to look at it. As far as in the United States, we are basically in a civil war. It just looks different because of the time that we're living in, but it's a psychological war. Excuse me. And, but from an energetic perspective, as I've said so many times before, it's all energy. It's just this natural process of the lower vibrational energy resisting the higher vibrational energy. And that can play out in, many different ways, many different realities, that, a galactic battle going on, the spiritual battle going on, all of it. But it's all energy. It all came from source. But, I feel like as light workers, well, also what I want to say too is this tug of war is being felt internally, and then as we're seeing it externally, right? It's just the 3D matrix, or our shadow selves, or our 3D selves in a way, resisting this change. And humans naturally do this because change can be difficult and uncomfortable. This goes on every level of existence. So, and the 5D is already destined. Okay, the light has already won, but we're just watching this unfold. We're here to assist in this process. It was perfectly planned. Everything we're doing was perfectly planned to bring this change about. And so what it looks like is like, let's say, a tug of war rope. And the rope is kind of the 4D, which is where I believe most of the awakened ones are. That's kind of where we are right now. And at times you feel like you're being pulled back into the 3D and then the 5D, and then sometimes you're in the middle and it's back and forth. It's just this tug of war. And stretching and pulling, that's what it feels like, okay? But I think we also forget, even though there's times we feel like we've been pulled back into the 3D, when you're able to step out of the matrix and observe rather than participate, you're already in a higher state of consciousness. So you're really actually not in fully pulled back into the 3D. We're out of that. Once you step out of that and become the observer, there really is no going back. And it may not feel like you are, because the 3D matrix is still very real in our current reality. We are experiencing multiple consciousnesses and dimensions at once right now, being in the 4D, right? And that's like the in-between tunnel. And, but if you really stop and think about it, okay, you aren't actually in it. You're just observing it. And it's a very subtle thing. That's why I feel like as light workers, we do get confused as to where we are. And we feel like we can't find our footing. There's no stable ground. That's what it feels like. But that's the difference between the humans that are still trapped in the matrix and the ones that are not, because we've been there at times, just doing what you're told, just cruising along without question or thought, just living your life and not even being aware of why you're doing it, not questioning anything, not being conscious of your thoughts. That's being kind of trapped in that 3D matrix, or being asleep, whatever way you want to look at that. And I know in previous videos I've expressed some of my political views, and I'm fully aware those are 3D based, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am still a human. There's certain things that I'm drawn to, but that doesn't mean that I'm looking to somebody as my savior. We are all our own saviors. It takes each individual saving themselves, basically, getting in touch with themselves, doing the work individually. Certain things I'm drawn to because I feel like they're more light filled, I guess is a way to put it. But that doesn't mean I'm saying my way is the right way. I'm just sharing my individual expression, right? There's no right or wrong here. We were positioned here to play certain roles, and they have to all be here to create what we're trying to create. It's just like a job, right? Or building something, building a huge ship, let's say, or a boat or a vehicle. And there's multiple different people assigned different tasks, and it all comes together to make this masterpiece or a puzzle, right? That's exactly what this is. And everyone's job is different. Everyone's playing a different role, but it's their role. That's what they were assigned. It all creates what we're trying to achieve here. Okay. And just because it looks like there's a spiritual battle going on, or we're in the midst of this tug of war for humanity, for our souls, a lot of people believe. It looks that way, and in certain, depending on how you're looking at it, yes, that is true, okay? But at the same time, that's just us watching it unfold. That has to happen as well. It's already destined. This is just a natural process. This is something that has been in the plans since the beginning of everything, okay? So that should bring comfort to a lot of people to know the light has already won. There really isn't a battle. This is just us watching this play out, okay? So, yeah, it's confusing, I know. There is a battle, but there isn't a battle, ultimately. Because if you go even to a higher state of consciousness, as I said, and look at it from an energetic perspective and remember that we are all one and that we came from source, then everything is perfectly placed where it has to be, and the battle has to happen. So there is no imperfection here. There's no worry of, oh, is the darkness gonna win? Is the devil gonna get our souls? That type of thing. That's very 3D to me. The whole devil taking our souls. To me, that's, the devil to me is just that lower vibrational energy, that consciousness, the darkness, whatever. But it's all energy. And what we're doing is moving out of that. We are watching that collapse as we're shifting, we're waking up, we're doing what we were sent here to do. Each and every one of us, whether they're awake or not. And that's why it's important to remember, when you are being the observer, that you're just watching it. Okay? There's nothing wrong with either side that you're looking at here, because there is division right now. It's been created. That's what we're seeing in our 3D reality, and we're grounded here on Earth. So it's hard to balance, right? It's hard to be the observer and not get too sucked into it sometimes. We think it's hard, but it's really not, because we won't. Once you become the observer and you reach that higher state of consciousness, you're always the observer. All right, so I did pull some cards. I connected with straight to the source, my higher self, and the angelic realm. And the first one that flew out was acceptance, and it's number 4. So that just made me think of the 4th dimension, like I said, that in between. And that is where acceptance starts happening. And that can be a very uncomfortable process for many. As light workers, a lot of us have already, for the most part, conquered this. And we've learned to accept everything as it is without judgment. That's the most important thing. Judgment, anger, all those lower vibrational energies, those kind of fade away once you accept that everything is exactly as it should be, and God does not make mistakes. Makes acceptance a lot easier. But as on an individual level, accepting, once again, your shadow self, accepting what you would say are faults or things you feel guilty about or things that you don't like about yourself. It's about fully accepting that everything served a purpose and embracing change, embracing everything about yourself that you once thought was a problem, and realizing how it serves you, how it did serve you. Okay? And this is a very difficult thing for a lot of people waking up right now. And you might notice certain people in your life who aren't awakened yet. When you try to discuss certain things with them, they just deny it. Like, no, there's no way. That's a conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah. We've all talked to people like that, okay? And that's fine. They'll awaken in their own time. You can't force somebody to awaken. You can't. It'll take either one little thing to do it, or it's a gradual buildup. It's just however their soul decided to do it, if they will awaken in this lifetime even. So that's their own path. And that's another thing, is we have to accept that about others. We cannot force them to awaken. We can throw little tidbits out, but we can't force them. And part of the description for this card actually says, do we accept exactly where we are, no matter how painful or confronting? Or do we retreat back into our illusions and remain stuck or unchanging? And that's exactly where humanity kind of is this in between. It's like, yeah, you're being pulled this way, but then you're being pulled back this way. That's what a lot of people are feeling right now, is this tug of war, essentially. That's what it feels like. And the next two that flew out were release and change. And these cards are so perfectly synchronized, right? We have acceptance, release, change. And because once you fully accept, you're able to release so much. You're able to just let this flow, let it come out. You're not resisting anymore. You've accepted this process. So you release it and allow the change to take place. And that's what the entire planet is doing right now, in the process of. And it's accelerated. We know this. And then I actually pulled one from my animal spirit deck, and I got the lizard regeneration. As a survivor, you were unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt, embrace your transformation, put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. Okay? We're watching the 3D matrix crumble, releasing the old, watching the change, and regenerating. That's exactly what is going on. But a lot of people still are in this acceptance phase of what is occurring. And in the 3D reality, everything is literally just so much chaos and confusion. Nobody knows what in the little details about the conspiracy theories, nobody knows what exactly is true, depending on either side of the division here. I mean, nobody knows. That's why it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be where you don't even know what to believe, because you're not supposed to believe anything anyone tells you. Your truth. Ask yourself, go within. That is the point to all of this, is that people start asking the questions and going within. The whole foundation that we have been on for so long is being ripped out. It's crumbling. So people are losing that foundation, that safe 3D matrix foundation they've been used to. And that's where the confusion and chaos comes in, is where it's like, okay, I don't even know where to stand. And it's scary for a lot of people that are just waking up. But that's when you start going within and asking the questions. Connecting with source again. Connecting with yourself. Getting your own truth and your own answers. Then the acceptance comes. Then the release and change and regeneration. So individually, many of us have done this as light workers, and now we're just here to assist when we're needed, helping to transmute, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. And one by one, we're breaking these chains. And a lot of people are just starting this. And it's going to be very accelerated for the people that are just waking up right now. It's going to be very, very accelerated, because we are very close to just the whole, the 3D matrix completely collapsing. So everything is going to be accelerated, and that's going to be difficult for a lot of people. So that's why we're here as light workers, is to assist in this. And when it's time to assist, you'll be in the right place at the right time. Somebody will come into your life that needs you. Somebody will remember something you might have said previously to them when they weren't awake yet. And then they'll remember and be like, oh, so-and-so was trying to tell me about that and I would not listen. And then they'll come back to you to ask. And as light workers, we look forward to that. That's why we came here. There's a reason we have that feeling that we just want to help so badly, and we don't know how. It'll start falling into place, and we are going to be called more very soon here to help. You'll see it in your everyday life, it popping up. So I just wanted to share this with you because I've been feeling this as well. Just that tug of war feeling. And then when you actually do look at what's going on the planet with humanity, it is a tug of war. That's what is going on. It's just the in-between. So it's like being pulled back and forth, or on a teeter-totter, right? Just back and forth. And trying to find that balance. Because the foundation beneath everybody is collapsing. That foundation we've been on for so long. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's about it. I really wanted to share this, and the cards that came out were perfect. Just some more confirmation, you guys, that we're doing exactly what we need to be doing. Okay? And going with the flow is the best thing that you can do. Taking it easy on yourself. Offering service when it's needed, when it comes into your path, sending love, sending light, we know what to do. We do it naturally. So thank you all for your courageous service. All right. This is a big task. That's like you can't even really describe what we're actually doing here because it's never been done. So just incredible. All right. I will talk to you all soon.